5, 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. You think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
We are the home of Milwaukee Black Talk. 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. You can call in, text in to the show today by going to or texting or calling at 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talking text line at 833-212-1017. You can also watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. You can give us a like, you can give us a share, you can give us a subscribe so you don't miss any of your favorite award-winning 1017 The Truth show. Shout out to DJ Brother Z holding it down on the ones and the twos. And shout out to you, Truth Nation. Again, make sure y'all go to YouTube. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe, and join in on the chat. What up, chat? Also, make sure you download the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, where you can go and listen back to all your favorite shows that you missed, especially the Truth to Power show. You can go to the app and go back and listen to your shows. But Truth Nation, Valentine's weekend was a success. I feel good. The sun's out. I was excited. I got a polo on today. I know. It's still not like 70 degrees outside, but it's dang near 60. It might be 60. By the time I came in, it was 50-something, 57. And I said, you know what? I'm going to put this little polo on that I got for Christmas because I think I look handsome in it. But Valentine's weekend was a success. I hope y'all had a good Valentine's weekend. You know, I did something a little bit different. I have an opportunity to go to one of our great partners, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. And so we had a nice little hotel stay. We did the hotel stay. Ended up taking my girl, to the Dream Steakhouse. DJ Brother, you ever heard of Dream Steakhouse? Let me tell you something. When you feeling like you really like somebody, go ahead and take her to Dream Steakhouse. I promise you, she gonna love it. She gonna love it. Don't ever say I didn't try to teach you nothing, to give you no advice. Did a little gaming. Got chirped by a Bears fan. So I'm coming in and, I do two shows. I do a show here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. And then I also do a show on ESPN Milwaukee, 2 to 5, Kyle Bruston Norman. And when I the other show here, this show, I get a lot of love. The other show, it just varies on who you are. And so, I'm walking in the Potawatomi, and some dude looks at me, and this happened twice this week. He said, "You Kyle Wallace?" I said, yeah. He said, "Bears, baby, go Bears." I said, "Oh, okay, cool, yeah. And I told my girl, I said, that's why I need to, get a little insulin and pack some heat, because I don't even know what these people want. At least maybe get a little taser, stun gun, or something." But it was a good time. Went over to the sports book, watched some of the Olympics on replay. It was cool. We had a great time. It was like being at a mini resort right here in Milwaukee. Got food, got gaming. They had the TVs in the sports book that is totally dope. We walked around the casino, spent some money. We had the little dance floor upstairs. I think his name is DJ White Knight. You heard of that, Brother Z? White Knight. He was up there DJing. We didn't go to bed till after like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was cool. We did leave for a second to go hang out in the city, but that lasted all of 30 minutes because we had a free drink token somewhere. Got a little free drink, and I'm like, yeah, it's time to go. I'm ready to go back to the hotel, go have a good time. But then also, what I learned this weekend as well, Truth Nation, and some of y'all who have daughters would know this. I don't have any children yet. Maybe, one day the Lord will bless me with children. But, me and my brother, we grew up with a lot of boys in my family. We got a little wave of girls coming. But Truth Nation, something I realized this weekend is with my lady, like I know she's a great woman, but my mom had a great milestone. My mother, this weekend, she celebrated 50 years of being in the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Like she celebrated 50 years, which is called the Golden Soror. So, it is a great accomplishment to have 50 years nonstop of being, financial, as we say, paying your dues and being active. So I think it's a beautiful thing, and I'm so proud. So proud of my mom for the leadership that she has shown and the dedication she has shown to the community for 50-plus years. It really is impeccable and great, and I'm just so blessed to be her son. But, I'm me being a boy. I'm just like, hey, congratulations, Ma, I love you on 50 years. Woo! My lady, on the other hand, she was like, man, what y'all doing for your mama for 50 years? That's a great accomplishment. I said, I know. I told her. She said, nah. Y'all got to do more than that. Y'all got to be better than that. She said, how about you give us some flowers? So we actually, me and her, courtesy of from me and my brother, went to go get my mom some flowers. And it made me just realize, like, dang, it's good to have a woman in your life because they really do have value. Like, having daughters definitely would give you value because some of the stuff that, boys just won't do, girls would do. So I just want to say shout out to my mama. Want to say shout out to my lady and shout out to everybody. I hope y'all had a great weekend. Make sure, again, y'all watch the streamers live on YouTube because now it's time to get into that weekend recap because, boy, there was some stuff that happened over this weekend.
Truth Nation, we know you have a busy life and the weekend went by too fast. If you missed any of the headline stories, no worries. We got you covered on the top stories you may have missed. Tap in for the weekend recap on Truth to Power. Kyle, tell Truth Nation the biggest headlines they need to know.
Again, make sure y'all stream us on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. And I don't know if y'all seen this or not, but electric bills. Have y'all seen y'all electric bill lately? It seems like they have been jumping. And Truth Nation, I have to admit that I do not see my electric bill. I'm the man of the house. I'm the man. I put my foot down now. Don't get it twisted. I'm the man of the house. But that's for my baby girl to take care of. She sees that bill, and I have no idea how much the bill is. And whenever I ask her, she always says, I don't know. I just pay it. And women love not knowing exact numbers. That's one thing women are really good at. And now I understand what my father used to get frustrated with is when he used to ask my mom a question and the response was, I don't know. And I'm just like, dude, like, what do you mean you don't know? How you pay a bill every single month? You can't give me a range of what it is? I'm trying to figure out how much we paying, so I just let that go. I love my woman, but I just let that go. And again, we love these women nonetheless. But when it comes to the heat and the AC, I am a tyrant in the crib. I'm tyrant because I don't want my bill to be high. When it's cold like this outside, heat stay on 68. Unless it is really cold outside, I allow for it to go to 70. Be 70 for the heat. Now, if it's freezing, like we talking about polar vortex, we can take it up to 72, but we can't go higher than that because we ain't gonna run up our bill. You better but I got some heated blankets in the house. You better put them heated blankets on to warm you up. But then when it gets cold outside as well, when it's hot during the summertime, we keep it on about 68. When it gets hot, I let it go to 70, but that's about it. Other than that, if you get too hot, open a window or better get a fan, have that fan blow on you. We ain't doing all that. But I knew these electric bills were getting high, but a key indicator for me that the electric bill was getting a little bit too high is when there was a mention from my lady saying, hey, the electric bill, that price getting a little high. And I said, high? What do you mean high? She said, I feel like I paid like $300. I said, well, what? And it caught my attention. And then I saw a story on TMJ4 News. And folks around here are having sticker shock, according to them, over how high their energy bills are getting right now. Can y'all believe, Truth Nation, that some people are seeing their energy bills spike over $300? $300 compared to the previous month. One lady said that her bill went from $280 to around $600 in 1 month. That's a car payment. Now, in addition to that, we have to understand that there was a rate increase that took effect in January, adding an average of $7 per month to our electric services and $4 per month for natural gas. So y'all need to make sure y'all checking y'all bills, because I know I was given a ballpark, but I don't know exactly how much it went up. And by the way, if you listening, girl, go ahead and text me, so I want to know exactly what the bill is. I'm very curious. Very, very curious. But a We Energy spokesperson, Brandon Conway, said in a statement, when it's cold, customers use more natural gas to heat their homes, and that increases the bill. We encourage any customer with any questions to contact us so we can go through their bill with them and discuss their usage. We also can connect them with energy assistance and bill payment options. In addition to that, there's a worldwide price hike in the cost of natural gas. So that is some of the things that are contributing to the factor that our heating bills are going up, and I don't like it whatsoever, but I guess that's the cost of doing business. So I want to just let everybody know that, yes, make sure y'all checking y'all bills. Yes, if y'all have any issues, make sure y'all contact We Energies just to try to get it figured out, because at the end of the day, you need to heat your house, and you should be mindful. But if you seen your bill going up, just know that it is not just for you. It's for a lot of different people that are seeing their bills going up, and you can contact them for energy assistance if you would like. Now, the next story that I have is, now I'm going to shift over to MPS. The next three stories, and I'm going to shift and focus on MPS, and then we're going to come back and talk more MPS. But Truth Nation, there was a proposal from the WIAA, which I did not like. And to me, it was ridiculous, but it's something that happens all the time. Conference realignment. That's a conversation that you have, conference realignment. I tell y'all where I went to school at all the time. The North Shore Conference is not the same conference it used to be. I know they get upset with how big of schools they have to compete against. So this is not just singling out MPS for conference realignment. But there was a proposal by the WIAA trying to push for two schools in MPS originally out of the city conference. I don't know if y'all heard about this. And DJ Brother Z, listen up, because this includes you. There was a proposal to have Rufus King High School and Ronald Reagan High School removed from the city conference and moved to the Southeastern Conference, which has teams like Franklin, Kenosha schools, and Racine schools. Now, Brother Z, tell me this. For somebody who went to Reagan, would you want to travel from Reagan all the way to Kenosha Trimper for a sporting event to support your classmates?
I mean, that ain't got nothing to do with me now.
I mean, but would that be appealing to you to drive 40 minutes?
I wouldn't do it regardless.
Exactly. He wasn't going to the sporting events. And so overall, for me, when I saw this, I was disappointed because MPS, first and foremost, MPS obviously pushed back to it, but I was disappointed that it was even something that the WIA was even considering. And so MPS initially pushed back on it. The WIA realigned it by only adding Ronald Reagan High School, but MPS is still putting up a fight, and they have a hearing, I believe it's February 19th, which is this week, to discuss and try to push back and appeal this decision. What I really want to know is, why are they looking to break up the city conference? Now, I understand the city conference is unique as all the schools are in the same conference, but that should be taken into consideration. Because for me, it interferes with the history and integrity of that conference. When you talk about competitive balance, that would be putting some of these kids in these schools at a great disadvantage. Also, additional travel costs for the school system. And in addition to that, more importantly, the additional travel for families. And like I just mentioned, Kenosha-Tremper High School, which is one of the high schools that currently compete in the Southeastern Conference here in the state of Wisconsin, is 34 miles away from Ronald Reagan High School, which is a 40-minute drive right now. Not with rush hour traffic or anything like that, not taking into account any type of accidents that could happen. I just think it was an absolutely absurd idea by WIA to not factor in the so many barriers which impact our students, their families, and the betterment of our students. And so again, this isn't finalized. MPS can appeal. I don't really like the fact that this was even an idea. And I get WIA has a job to try to be as creative as possible as they do realignment. But I just really feel like it should be hands off MPS. I don't think you should be trying to break up that conference. I think we should just let MPS stay as that traditional conference that all the schools are there. The district has invested so much money in Ronald Reagan High School when it comes to the facilities, and I would hate for those facilities not to be utilized by other students from the city conference on a normal basis and for it to be moved out to having them compete against schools in different counties. It just seemed like a weird ask for me. And for me, when I think about it, when we think about just not the competitive disadvantage for these students that have to travel so far, but then we talk about how it negatively could impact the students academic-wise, right? Because we already know when you participate in extracurricular activities, those typically happen outside of school hours. So if you're talking about the fact that, I play high school football and I play basketball as well, ran track too. But for those who play, let's just say, for basketball, well, if you have a freshman basketball game that's supposed to start at 5 o'clock or 4:30 and you have to travel, well, the kids leave school early, which they have done before, but now they got to travel 40 minutes on a bus to get to where they need to be at. Or even for the varsity team, now you leave on a certain day. If you got a game on a Tuesday night, you got to drive 40 minutes there, 40 minutes back. By the time you get back home, it's going to be 10 o'clock, and then by the time you get home, it may be 10:30, 11, and kids got to do homework and different things. So I really think when we think about putting the kids first, I think academics should be something that should be at the top of mind when it comes to when you make these decisions. And MPS is something that I don't believe is in the current state where you need to be moving things around. But I know as a person who has family that competes in the city conference, having to drive down to Kenosha for games like Rufus King, I got family there. Ain't no way in the world I was going down to Kenosha-Tremper. Hell, I can barely make it to King. Ain't no way in the world I'm traveling 50 minutes to go somewhere. So I just don't believe that was a good idea to be moving MPS. But again, right now MPS is appealing. And if the district is saying they are against it, I think they should be respected in what their request and just say, let's not do it. But I just don't think that was a very good idea. And again, it's not finalized, but it is something that is on the table. And I've thought that's something that people should be aware of because it does impact us locally. Put the kids first, put the students first, put the families first, put the teachers first, put the school first, put MPS first. And we should definitely support MPS as they push back against any type of conference realignment that would include them. That is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. When we come back, I'm going to continue the conversation talking about MPS because Aisha Carr, do y'all remember Aisha Carr? The former Milwaukee Public School board member. Well, she's back in the news because she was just handed down a sentence. We're going to talk about that and the impact of this Aisha Carr decision. So make sure y'all watching, stream us live on YouTube. Somebody said here on the chat, you are a student before you're an athlete. Bingo. And that's what WIA needs to realize, why we should just leave MPS alone. But on the other side, we'll continue talking about Milwaukee Public Schools and Aisha Carr having her sentence handed down. And now you know exactly what she's going to have to do for the crimes, quote unquote, she committed. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Walls. We'll come back talking about Aisha Carr and the crime she committed. And does the punishment fit the crime? We'll discuss on the other side.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Are you ready to level up your mindset, your money, and your future? Join Coach Erica Odom, real estate investor, success coach, and published author for On the Journey with Coach Erica. This month's episode airs Wednesday, February 18th at 6 p.m. and focuses on why real estate is a mindset before it's a move. Coach Erica welcomes Cortez Perry, author and entrepreneur, and realtor Brianna Job as they share the routines, discipline, and mindset that sets successful people apart. Tune in to On the Journey with Coach Erica, live on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Steinhoffel's President 5-Day Sale is happening now, and the furniture and mattress savings are so good. Start with at least 10% off store-wide, then you'll get $50 off every $4.99 you spend, plus doorbusters you gotta see in person. And if you're financing, I got something huge for you. 60 months with no interest until 2031 when you spend over $19.99, plus you'll get a $200 MasterCard reward card. It's only 5 days, so don't wait, and it's only at Steinhoffel's.
Injured at work, unable to work due to health problems, or denied veteran benefits you're entitled to? Last year, Tayback Law returned over $73 million in wrongfully denied VA and Social Security benefits to people in our communities. Tayback Law celebrates Black History Month by bringing its message to 101.7 The Truth. The team is thrilled to see Milwaukee achieve this exciting new outlet for speaking truth to power. And Tayback Law is always ready to fight for you. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. That's because their agents will make you feel totally protected with a home, auto, or life policy that's right for you. Also, you're free to enjoy your dreams. American Family Insurance is so easy to work with. All you have to do is go to amfam.com today. When you go to amfam.com, you can find an agent near you. With amfam.com online, you can find an agent who can help you in person, or you can get a quote instantly online. It is all so easy. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly. Visit them at amfam.com today to find an agent near you or to get a quote instantly online. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Walton. We're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue, and I was having a conversation talking about how the WIAA was looking to move Rufus King High School and Ronald Reagan High School out of the MPS City Conference. MPS appealed the first time, and they shifted it over to just being Reagan High School. MPS is going to appeal it again to make sure that Reagan stays in. We shall see how it goes, but realignment happens very frequently now. It didn't happen at all, I feel like, when I was in high school, and now I feel like it happens every couple of years. But hopefully they respect MPS, because a lot of the schools are in Kenosha and Racine, and I just did a simple map quest and saw that it is 34 miles from Ronald Reagan High School just to get to Kenosha Trimper High School in a 40-minute drive. That to me would not be doing right by the students. But again, make sure y'all watch the streamers live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube and give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. You can always join in on today's conversation by going to 833-212-1017, the Truth Talking text line. You can call in, text in to share your thoughts on anything from today's show. Now, Truth Nation, I teased talking about Aisha Carr, and if we remember anything about Aisha Carr, she came in as a firebrand. She got elected to that school board, and let me tell you, she came in wanting to shake things up. But the story of Aisha Carr is one where if you dare to challenge the establishment or you dare to challenge the status quo, they will come and they will get you. That is what this is a story of. That is what it is a tale of. It is a reminder that those who push back, those who are rebel rousers, need to make sure that their house is in order and that their house is clean. They need to make sure that they dot their I's and cross their T's, because if you go after these people or you try to do change, these people will try to attack you. They'll try to take you down the first chance that you get. People in power do not like their power to be threatened. That's just the bottom line. And Aisha Carr, being part of the school board, she threatened a lot of people's power. She threatened a lot of people's authority. People don't like their authority to be questioned. People do not like to be challenged. You cannot challenge the system. You cannot tell the truth. You cannot be critical of them if you do not have your house in order. And with Aisha Carr, this is a clear story of someone who did not have her house in order. She had some big ideas and some things that I actually supported. But Aisha Carr did not have her house in order, and she is paying a very, very steep price for not having her house in order. Aisha Carr was elected to the Milwaukee Public School Board with promising change, promising something different. One of her bold ideas was a 4-day school week with the 5th day focused on student mental health, electives, internships, staff professional development as well. It was different, it was creative, it was disruptive, but it was something that was much needed to look at the way that we go about school a little bit different. Aisha Carr wanted to actually work for these students and try to give them an opportunity to maybe try some things that may end up helping the students. And she also was very, very critical of other school board members as well. Those who didn't want to disrupt, those who just wanted to go with the flow, she was very publicly critical of them. So Aisha Carr became public enemy number 1 for the MPS school board and for those who were in power. And when you become public enemy number 1, they are going to try to find something on you. And in the case of Aisha Carr, they found stuff on her. And last week, former Milwaukee Public Schools Board member Aisha Carr was given 18 months of probation as punishment for a campaign violation in misreporting her income to qualify for state assistance. They originally hit her with 11 felonies. They originally hit her with 11 felonies. 11 felonies, y'all. They found 11 felonies for a school board member. They were just stacking on top of her. That's all they were trying to do. Why? It's because somebody gave the green light to say, we don't like what she's doing, and we need to put a muzzle on her. We don't like what she's doing, so we need to attack her. Hell, I know for a fact, if I ran for political office, people would dig for stuff for me. If Sherwin Ken or Tory ever ran for political office, people be digging for stuff for them. Why? It's because a lot of us don't go with the grain. A lot of us don't go with the flow. When you look at Sherwin Hughes, we know Sherwin, he's not an advocate of Milwaukee public schools when it comes to kids having options for other schools. He wants kids in Milwaukee to have a choice. And I don't knock him for it. When it comes to Tory Lowe, we know he doesn't like the Democrats, as he calls them, who run the city of Milwaukee. And we know Dr. Ken is a contrarian. We know he done said a lot of things. And y'all know me, I don't hold back. I respect everybody personally, but professionally, I call out things that I deem not to be good enough for our community. So Truth Nation, Aisha Carr was trying to shake things up, and for trying to shake things up, they hit her with 11 felonies. 11 felonies. This is what they do to you. Ask Tierman Spencer, who dared to go against the grain. They tried to tear him down, too. It seems to me that every politician that doesn't follow the status quo or does things their own way and doesn't get in line are the ones that they try to go after. That's what it seems like to me. And in the case of Aisha Carr, Truth Nation, again, make sure y'all watching streamers live as well on YouTube. And you can call in at 833-212-1017 because I do want to get y'all thoughts on this. Aisha Carr was found to have received $2,808 in food assistance program over a span of 6 months, which means she received $467 per month for this, and they wanted her to do prison time. They were requesting, the district attorney was requesting for her to do prison time. And they ended up staying that sentence, and she was only sentenced to probation for a year and a half, 18 months, for $2,808. They wanted her to do prison time for $2,800. How asinine and crazy is that? You're going to have somebody serve prison time that's going to cost us taxpayers significantly more than that. Just have her pay the money back. But they wanted her to serve prison time, but they hit her with 18 months, which takes paperwork and filing. And again, she committed a crime. So when you commit a crime, there is some type of charge. In this sense, to me, it seems that they were digging there trying to find something. And the fact that prison time was actually on the table shows you that this was bigger than what Aisha Carr committed. This was Aisha Carr went against us, so we going to make sure we let her know, and anybody else who comes after her, if your ass get out of line, your ass is ours. That's what they're trying to tell you. And that's an example that was made. For me, I ask, why do we watch political movers and shakers like Aisha Carr, who try to be different and challenge the establishment, get blackballed? Why don't we say anything about it? Why don't we speak up to try to support them? And I feel like sometimes, just sometimes, Truth Nation, we as a black community, we love to gossip. We love to gossip and talk about other black people. But then we stay silent in other cases. A great example of this is Diddy. Everybody was talking about the baby oil. Everybody was talking about the freak-offs, R. Kelly. Everybody was talking about what R. Kelly was doing. But then you got these Epstein files that are happening in our face right now, and it's impacting people who are in power right now. Literally, people who are in power right now have connections to Epstein, not just Trump, but other people, part of his administration, are connected to Epstein, and ain't none of y'all talking about it. There's a guy named Howard Lutnick who works for Donald Trump. He's in the dang files. He's part of the Trump administration. He admitted to going to his island. And ain't none of y'all talking about it. Y'all ain't calling him a pedophile. Y'all ain't asking him to be behind bars. Hell, most of y'all don't know the Commerce Chief Howard Lutnick's name and what he does. So that is my issue, that we love to talk about surviving R. Kelly and surviving Diddy. But where's that same energy for Epstein? Is 50 Cent going to have a surviving Epstein? Where's the black community outrage over the fact that 15-year-old girls were raped on Epstein Island, but y'all just sit back and, look at P. Diddy. And again, I'm not trying to justify what P. Diddy did because it was gross, it was disgusting, and he deserves to be talked about. But dang, let's talk about everybody. Corruption happens all the time. Matter of fact, we currently having a sitting assemblyman in Bob Donovan, a.k.a. Peepin' Bob Donovan, who was charged for disorderly conduct in the 1990s for peeking under stalls at UWM. That's why we call him Peepin' Bob Donovan. But Donovan was paying himself $850 per month out of his campaign account for housing costs after he rented an apartment to have a residence in the state assembly district that he represents, while also maintaining his own home outside of the district, all totaling a cost of $6,000, which is double what Aisha Carr took. Now, again, the money came from a different place, but remember, Aisha Carr got hit with finance campaign fraudulent activity. Meanwhile, Bob Donovan seems to me that there might be some fraudulent activity happening with his campaign files, and ain't nobody looking into that for real, for real? Y'all ain't outraged and mad about that? This is like a double standard. Why are we not mad about this? But Aisha Carr and Shantia Lewis, we were all over them, and it ruined their careers. And I wasn't even a fan of Shantia Lewis's politics. I completely opposite of the decisions that she made. But I still support black people. And I still want us to have equality. So when I see stuff like with Bob Donovan, who literally got redistricted, so he decided that he was not going to run in that district because he couldn't win. So he ran in a different district, kept his main home, and rents another home and used campaign funds from a donor to pay for that. That is illegal. Allegedly. But again, ain't nobody on his case about this. Well, he had to get on probation. 833-212-1017. Why don't we stand up and defend black politicians like we should? Why don't we stand up and support black politicians like we should? That's the thing that bothers me, is I've been standing right behind Tierman Spencer. I do not like this current city attorney and Evan Goyke, simply because this is the thing I don't like about liberals, is that liberals will sit up here and tell you how much they love and support black people until it's time for them to get power. until it's time for them to have an opportunity. Evan Gorky represented black folks before, and instead of sitting there and trying to find a black person to run for that seat, he took that opportunity because that's what they do. They will always want to be more powerful than you. That's something that we got to remember in our minds. But I'm telling y'all right now, if something is illegal, it is illegal. And I'm trying to figure out why it seems like we get more upset about our own people, but meanwhile give a pass to others. Are we consistent? Are we fair? And do we defend people who are trying to push change, or do we stay silent when they fall? Because right now, Aisha Carr is going through a fall. She was a bright young star who was trying to do what's right for our kids, and now she is falling. In 833-212-1017, are we supporting her during this fall? Do you agree with Aisha Carr receiving 18 months of probation, over $2,800 in benefits, and some campaign finance stuff? 833-212-1017. When you are trying to be a reformer, should you just expect this type of scrutiny? But meanwhile, you got folks who's going along to get along, who ain't doing nothing and ain't supporting our community, uplifting our community, that ain't doing nothing. They get to stay in their seats. But 833-212-1017, I do want to hear from y'all, because this Aisha Carr story was a big one. We talked about her, and we remember the proposal. She came on with Sherwin. She came on with Ken. And she was trying to do something different. She was actually thinking. That's what I love, is that she had this idea, and she said, you know what, let me run for office, and let me not just sit and say, aye, all in favor, aye, all those who oppose. No, nobody opposes, because they all beat to the same drum. But 833-212-1017, do you think they're trying to do Aisha Carr wrong? Do you agree with Aisha Carr having to be on probation for 18 months, over $2,800 in a food share program, money that she got, versus just having to pay it back? 833-212-1017. Why don't we speak up and defend the black politicians that are actually trying to do good for our community? 833-212-1017. It is Truth to Power, Kyle Walsh. You can call in, you can text in, you can also join the conversation, the chat on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. I see y'all comments, I see y'all texts, I see y'all calls. We'll continue the conversation on the other side. It's Truth to Power, Kyle Walsh. We'll have more next.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this: Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Did you know that for 80 years, Paralyzed Veterans of America has been a lifeline for our nation's veterans with spinal cord injuries and diseases like MS and ALS, and all people with disabilities? In just the last 12 months, PVA has funded research of the first non-addictive pain medication in over a decade, partnered with an award-winning sports anchor to fight for accessible medical care for women veterans, ensured all women with disabilities feel seen and empowered with help from a top cosmetic company. And that doesn't even include what PVA have done over the last 80 years, like secured the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act, pioneered wheelchair basketball, helped design iconic landmarks, made the DC Metro a model transit system, and wrote and distributed resources in over 60 countries in 4 languages. None of this would be possible without your help. Every breakthrough, every battle won, and every life impacted is driven by you. Visit pva.org to learn more.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7. The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Nazir Spencer. All-Star Weekend is over, but included many Milwaukee ties in the process. Former Bucks point guard Damian Lillard bested Bobby Portis and Wisconsin Lutheran High School alum Con Knippel in the three-point contest. Whitnell High School alum and Miami Heat sharpshooter Tyler Hero was the event's defending champion, but missed the event due to injury. Bucks are back at it this Friday against the Pelicans in New Orleans. In college basketball, Badger basketball is heading to Ohio State for a Big Ten matchup tomorrow at 7. Marquette hosts St. John's on Wednesday at 8. UW-Milwaukee won a close one against UW Green Bay this weekend, 75-72.
EPW driving on a double team, handed off for Kone, who rises up, throws it down.
Their next game is against Detroit Mercy on Friday. This Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown team, member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
One call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices. If you or a loved one is ever injured in an accident, make sure you make one call, that's all, to Gruber Law Offices, because they will take care of you. They take the burden off your shoulders by standing up for you, the victim. They also allow for you to focus on healing, and they focus on winning your case. That's why I loved them when I got them, and you will love them as well when you work with Gruber Law Offices. And always remember, when you make one call, that's all, to Gruber Law Offices, you never pay a single penny, not a single cent, until they win your case. So get with the winning law firm today at Gruber Law Offices by visiting gruber-law.com. That's gruber-law.com, or making one call, that's all, at 414-276-6666. That's 414-276-6666. It's one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices, and you can visit them at gruber-law.com. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio. You can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. You can give us a like, you can give us a share, you can give us a subscribe, so you don't miss any of your favorite award-winning 101.7 The Truth shows. My mama texted me, said, "Pull your shirt down." So, okay. Thank you, Mama. Appreciate you. Guess it was up a little bit. Got my beater on under. But Truth Nation, today I'm talking about Milwaukee Public Schools and just some of the stuff, right? And I'm all team MPS. I just wanted to be understood. I'm team MPS. We talked about the WIAA, who was trying to do conference realignment across the state. And as part of that conference realignment across the state, 2 MPS schools were part of a proposal to be realigned out of their conference. They were looking to take Rufus King and Ronald Reagan High School, 2 of the highest performing schools in the district, and looking to move them to the Southeastern Conference, which would combine them with schools such as Franklin High School, the high schools in Racine, the high schools in Kenosha. Some of the drives would be 40 minutes for Reagan High School. MPS pushed back. Rufus King was removed, so then it was just Reagan High School. And now they're still appealing that, and I agree. I don't think it is in the best interest of those students to be having to travel weekly to go down to Kenosha and Racine area for sporting events, especially when you have a conference that they're already a part of in the city conference right here with MPS. And also there'll be a competitive disadvantage, because I'm going to be very honest. Reagan is not at a competitive level in all their sports that will be able to compete with a Franklin and compete with some of them schools in Racine. Like I know Racine, Horlick, and some other schools, Kenosha, Racine Case right now, they're doing a phenomenal job building up their football program, some of them schools down in Kenosha. So I just want to look out for those students. But then in addition to that, I kind of pushed over to start talking about Aisha Carr. Aisha Carr, the former Milwaukee Public School Board member, who got herself in some trouble because of the fact that she was found to have committed some different crimes when it comes to campaign finance rules, where she was living at and mailing address, and some things when it came to getting food share money, misreporting her income. Now, again, I don't condone any of that, and I do think if you break the law, there are going to be consequences for you. But the issue that I have is I feel like if Aisha Carr was just a person that was not a public elected official, especially when it comes to the food share stuff, I don't see her having to serve time or having to be on probation. But I think because she's a public figure that rocked the boat quite a bit, she became public enemy number 1, and they went digging and they found stuff. And I believe that is a lesson in the story of Aisha Carr, is a lesson that you make sure that you keep your house clean if you're going to try to challenge the system. You're going to try to push back against the system. If you're going to talk greasy, you need to make sure that your house is clean and they can't find anything on you. Aisha Carr did not do that, and now she finds herself in this predicament where she is facing 18 months of probation. And in this same case, the prosecutor actually wanted to make her make her actually serve some type of time in jail. But 833-212-1017, if you have thoughts on this conversation, you can join us like the town. What are your thoughts on today's conversation?
Of course, they did her bogus because she was rocking the boat, and she's a black woman. So that is true for what you just said. We got to keep our house clean, even though we all sin. You know what I'm saying? So, but we shouldn't let that stop us from calling out what's wrong. You know, sometimes you gotta take the hit. You know what I'm saying, to call out something's wrong for the greater community. You know, and that's what she did. But I think the bigger point is, why does keep on happening to black folks? Because black folks don't vote for black folks.
Ain't that the truth?
You know, because if black folks voted for black folks, you know what? We would have a black senator right now.
Yes.
You know? But we keep on asking, why is that? Because we don't bet on ourselves. Bet on black, y'all. It's Black History Month, man. Let's think about that. And you know what I'm saying? Let's just bet on us, man.
I agree. Thank you, DeTown. I agree. And I think one thing we have to do, we need to make sure we have stronger candidates. And with him saying bet on black folks, I think something that's very interesting is that when you look at districts, and I don't know who the candidates that run in these different elections, but when you look at districts like downtown Milwaukee, which is not a majority black district, or you look on the south side of Milwaukee, not just south side where the Hispanic folks is that, but like the deeper south side of Milwaukee, and you see the makeup of those who represent them, right? They not voting for you. That's what we have to understand. They're not voting for black bodies to represent them. Yeah, did they vote for Cavalier Johnson? Yeah, they did, because most of the city of Milwaukee is Democrat. But I can promise you that Cavalier Johnson got more votes from the white community than he did the black community. We make up the majority. And so that's something that we do need to keep in mind. But also, again, I think we need to be advocating for folks like Aisha Carr when she's going through this. And again, she made some mistakes. She has some hiccups. That is, you gotta, first and foremost, you shouldn't be doing stuff like that. But when you're a public official and you're going against the grain, you got to understand that people are going to look for stuff, and they found it. And we constantly see that happen. I talk about Tierman Spencer also found himself in that exact same predicament. I was too young for McGee and all the stuff that he went through. It seemed like they was kind of thugging, not gonna lie. But again, when you do stuff and you go against the grain, they're gonna try to find you. And they're going to make you pay. 833-212-1017. The caller, what are your thoughts on today's conversation?
My thoughts are, you just made me think about Johnny Thompson, who you may be a little
I do know Johnny
younger.
Thompson ran for comptroller or treasurer?
I think he was a treasurer. And he was an up-and-coming, brilliant person, and they wanted to make sure that they attempted to set him up and involve him in
There's a little bit of wind behind you. Do you have the window down or something like that?
No, I'm actually walking outside of my gym. I'm walking in the door right now.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
That setup where they tried to hand him the briefcase full of money is a prime example, and he decided that politics was too corrupt for him. With regard to the WIAA, there was a point where Milwaukee, King, Pulaski, and Hamilton were a part of what was called the Suburban Conference. And at that time, that was in the early 80s, and King won their first state championship with their now coach, who coaches the team now. So they dominated in basketball, but they did struggle in football, and that speaks to probably improving some of our youth football programs, because we do have talented athletes, and a large percentage, about 7 out of 10 NFL players are African American. So I think that would be something that we might want to advocate and invest our time and energy and resources in, is improving youth football in Milwaukee. But I think King has been a part of the city conference for a long time. They've been nationally ranked as a basketball program.
Well, King won't be moving. It will be Reagan. And talking about that city conference, the suburban conference included MPS schools, Cudahy, Nathan Hale. It did have Case, Horlick Park, Shorewood, South Milwaukee, Waukesha North, Waukesha South, East, West, Central, West Milwaukee, and Whitefish Bay. And I wonder how they broke it all up. And that's over a span of from 1925. So they had people who joined. They joined in the 1980s. It looked like some MPS schools joined in the 1980s.
Yeah, they dominated in basketball during that time. Pulaski was going upstate, so they decided once Pulaski and Bayview, I think, might have been a part of that. Once they began to win those conferences, while you had 7 awesome teams that were in the city conference as well, and there was a point in the 80s where there were 2 and 3 teams from Milwaukee competing for the Class A state championship on an annual basis. So that has been circumvented by kids transferring to suburban schools, the lack of funding for Milwaukee schools, which maybe contributed to the enrollment going down in schools like Washington and Vincent. But we have some definite legacy here as far as basketball, but we could improve our football training for our young people.
No, absolutely agree. I appreciate you calling in and supporting or sharing that knowledge. 833-212-1017. This is Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace. And I'm gonna wrap up this conversation because there is something else I saw just recently on my timeline which I thought was interesting. But talking about Aisha Carr and talking about these black politicians and even talking about Johnny Thomas that was just brought up by the caller where Johnny Thomas was acquitted because they were trying to basically set him up by somebody tried to offer $500 worth of money. And then they recorded him as well. They just try to set him up. That's what they do to African Americans. That's what they do. They try to find ways to find these allegations against you. They try to find ways for those who are doing something or pushing up against the establishment. They try to find a way to put you down. And that ain't just a elected official thing. That is a thing on a day-to-day basis that people have to overcome and many people have to face. It's just the reality of being a black person in corporate America or a black person who is trying to make it in politics. If you do something that they do not like, they are going to let you know about it. They're going to try to find something to try to tear you down. Because they don't want you to outshine them. They don't want you to have more than them. They don't want you to have too much power. And in this sense here, when we're talking about Aisha Carr was sitting on a school board, and she was very outspoken, and she exposed a lot of the stuff that she heard in some of these meetings, and they did not like that. And since they did not like that, they got rid of her. And now Aisha Carr had to deal with facing 11 felonies over campaign finance rules and over taking $2,800 in money overpayments for food share benefits, which again is all wrong, but at the end of the day, y'all gonna give her prison time for that? Nah, too much. But 833-212-1017. We'll wrap up the show and a conversation on the other side. Keep it locked. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Truth Nation, something big is coming. The Summerfest lineup you've been waiting for is dropping soon, and 1017 The Truth is getting you ready early. From February 16th through February 19th, we're giving you a chance to win T-Mobile 9-day power passes so you can experience it all. Listen throughout the day for your shot to win and get plugged in before the official lineup announcement. Don't miss out. The countdown is on. Only on 1017 The Truth.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Do you hear that? And that? And that? Those are the sounds of a healthy and vibrant community. And to this United Way volunteer, nothing sounds better. They're the sounds of children being given greater chances to succeed in school. The sounds of neighbors receiving the support needed to overcome challenges, both big and small. They're the sounds of families gaining access to quality health care. and nutritious food for their tables. And they're the sounds of members of our community who've benefited from United Way's financial education programs. See, wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. People working together to respond and growing the good for everyone. United is the way. So join us by getting involved or giving back. Learn more at unitedway.org.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
1, 2, 3, ho!
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm your host, Kyle Walsh, coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio. Truth Nation, the second annual Truth Community Awards is this Friday, and you do not want to miss it. Get your tickets now by going to 1017truthawards.com. That is 1017truthawards.com. We still do have tickets left. Go ahead and gobble those up. Congratulations to the amazing award recipients this year, who are Andre Douglas, Erica Crowley, Farina Brooks, Joseph Addison, Melody McCurtis, and Shawana Lindenberg. Thank you to them for making a real difference in our community. The Truth Community Awards are presented by Potawatomi Casino Hotel and sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks Foundation, Gruber Law Offices, Steinhoffels, Cousin Subs, and Venue 3 at the 3rd Street Market Hall. Come celebrate with us this Friday, February 20th at the Truth Community Awards, hosted by Homer Blow and Bailey Coleman from 5:30 to 8 at Venue 3 in the 3rd Street Market Hall. I saw some ratchet, crazy video, Truth Nation, on social media at a nail salon where some black folks went into the nail salon and started fighting each other. I mean, everybody fight, but I'm sick of seeing black people fight each other. I know these country white folks be fighting too. They be looking, they just look so dirty when they fight. I don't know. Be better. Definitely be better. When you saw that video, what'd you think, DJ Brother Z?
I should keep my comments.
Make sure. It wasn't Milwaukee, though. It was in Racine. Truth Nation, we were talking about today Aisha Carr and the fact that they found different things on Aisha Carr in order to, force her out, try to ruin her career. And my whole point of today's show is the fact that we need to be standing up for these black politicians. And yes, when they do wrong, but make sure that we're holding everybody accountable and everybody to the same standard. I want y'all to take the time yourself. Just simply Google Bob Donovan paying himself to pay rent in an apartment. Y'all just look it up, or just look at Bob Donovan paying himself, and I want y'all to educate yourselves on this. And you tell me, after reading about this information, reading these articles, if you think that black politicians get treated the exact same as some of their white counterparts. Bob Donovan was caught doing this months ago, and I haven't seen anything come out about it, but we see what happened with Shantia Lewis. We see what happened to Johnny Thomas. We see what happened to Aisha Carr. When they want to go after folks that go against the grain, that's exactly what they will do. This has been Truth to Power with Kyle Walsh. I appreciate y'all listening. Remember, y'all can always download the award-winning 1017 The Truth app to listen back to any of your favorite shows, especially Truth to Power. But the Tory Lowe Show is up next with 1 to 4. Truth Nation, peace out. Love y'all. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
Milwaukee business owners, this is your moment. Every Friday at 8 a.m., call in to 101.7 The Truth for What the Business Is. Tell us what your business is.